Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name's Casey and I'm the maker and creator behind Back to Eden Boutique. Today's video is really exciting because it is the first craft show of the holiday season for me. This is a 2-day show, Friday and Saturday. Fridays are usually a little bit slower than Saturdays, but still do pretty good. I came yesterday, Thursday evening, to do just some basic setup for my booth. I didn't bring all of my inventory. I set up my sweatshirts and I set up like my tables and my checkout stand and all that stuff, the heavy stuff. I've got all my crochet inventory in the back and I'm going to take it in now and set it up. I've got 2 hours exactly to do that, so I should have plenty of time. The event starts at 10 today. It goes 10 to 5, and then tomorrow it's 10 to 4. And there are hundreds of vendors in here. There's some really good stuff. I saw some really cool displays. It's really cool to see the people that come and they like build displays right there. And it's just cool. It's cool to see, you know, I'm just setting up some crates, but there's people in there with like drills and building all kinds of stuff. So if you're interested in this video and watching how I do and how my setup is and everything, stay tuned. When I started setup this morning, I brought in all of my stock before I even started putting anything out. I put my blind date with a book out first because that's where I knew I wanted them, and I just started going around. I got my hair claws out, and then on this 3-tiered stand that my parents built me, I put all of my small stuffies that I knew could sit up by their own and I could get them all to fit on the shelf together. I was also going through and collecting all of the hatching chicks that I made and putting them in this basket because I was going to put them somewhere else. I like to put out one of every color, and then when there's extra room, put extra stock out, but I just want to make sure that every color is represented. I started out with a ton of these octos, and I always made them with scrap yarn in all of my colors, so that's why there might be some that are 2 different colors. And I like to put those lower because little kids love to touch the tentacles of those, and I don't mind as long as they have a parent with them if they're touching them. And here's what that final setup looks like whenever I put all those stuffies out. I put all my extra chicks in that crate, and now I'm going to move on to my wearables display. I have a sweatshirt wall basically. Everything is displayed on the top, and then right below it in each crate are all of my sweatshirts in order by size. On the table in front of the sweatshirts, I decided to put all of my headbands that were basically leftover stock, and then all of the new beanies that I made. I ended up displaying a few of the beanies up top with the sweatshirts so that people would see them more clearly and knew that they were there at the table. I also put like designs together and like colors together. Moving on to my clothing rack, this is where I put all those cute little sweaters I made for children. And I also put out my blankets here as well because they display nicely on the clothing hangers. Here's the final display. I have this rack up front that draws people in. I have some giftables, dolls, small stuffies, my wearables, my beanies, sweatshirts, baby bonnets. I mixed in a few stuffies in front of the sweatshirts. And then there's my checkout stand. I need to go a little more in depth about that with you guys. I also have my pegboard and then my clothing rack, which on the bottom you can see I put those hatching chicks. And then I also have all of my loveys laid out there as well. I want those up front so people can see how cute they are. I love to put the cutest stuff up front that I know is going to grab people's attention. My number one tip is to put things out in front or in a place where they'll get a lot of attention and people will be able to see them very easily. Items like that will really draw people into your booth. Okay guys, I'm back from my craft show. It's been just a few days and I'm able to process everything that happened, my sales, all that stuff. And so I just wanted to give you guys a quick breakdown. I don't want the ending to be too long of how everything went. This was to date my best show I've ever done, sales wise, everything. I'm sorry I didn't get much footage while I was there. The music they were playing was licensed Christmas music and it was really loud and I didn't want that to be picked up on. You wouldn't be able to hear anything I was saying or any interactions with anybody. I have another show coming up this coming Saturday and I'm going to try to film a lot more there. I promise guys, I promise. So I wanted to go over my sales with you guys, what sold best, surprises, anything like that. I set up the Thursday before the show started and I just did like the base of everything, and then I went in Friday morning and set up my stock. And you guys, I gave myself 2 hours to bring in all of my stock and set it up, and I used every bit of that 2 hours because I had too much stuff. I had too much stuff to fit in the 10 by 10 space. I could have filled up a 10 by 20 space. Like, I could have got 2 spaces and filled it up. That's how much stuff I had, and it made me sad I wasn't able to put everything out, but it's okay. I tried to put out the things that I thought would sell best, and then the next day, you know, I had things sell Friday. Saturday I went in and I rearranged a little bit, and I was able to put out a couple more things, and I also, you know, filled in, like, if something sold, I immediately went and whipped out that same thing and replaced it because I have that back stock. So, but that's fine. That's a fine problem to have, having a lot of stuff. I want my stuff to be able to last me the 4 shows I had to do, so that's why I had so much stuff. I was able to meet my sales goal, which makes me so happy. I was just shocked by the amount of support I had, the amount of people sharing my stuff on Facebook, and just all the kind things that people were telling me, and the friends and family that came to support me, and all the other vendors there. So I wanted to go over my sales with you guys, just my my top sellers, the things that surprised me, all that stuff. Oh, also, I got to meet one of you guys, one of my viewers. I was just so shocked. I didn't even know what to say. So I'm sorry if I just felt like kind of awkward because I was so shocked that you came to this show to meet me and to shop and everything. I was just like, oh my gosh, what's happening right now? So it was so nice getting to meet you and actually like see somebody that watches me in person in real life. I was like, the only people I've met that watch me are like my mom and my grandma. So, but thank you so much. It was so nice getting to meet you. I want to go over what sold, you guys. So the things that I had most in stock were the small plushies, the things that were like 12 to $25. I had 103 items in stock for that, and I sold only 20, okay? Only 20 out of 103. I am shocked that that number is so low. I thought people would be buying those cheaper items. They did. People did buy them, but not to the extent that I thought they would, because I sold way more large, more expensive plushies than the small stuff. So I brought 44 large stuffies, and I sold 23. So I sold over half, over 50% of my large stuffies and only like 20% of my small stuff. And my large stuff, it ranges from $25 to $55 and average $40. A lot of my stuff was like $40, my snugglers. $40 to $42. So I am still shocked, I guess, that the majority of things that sold were higher priced things. People really love the quality. They love how soft everything was. And they love that I embroider eyes. There were people, there's this one lady literally came into my booth and was picking up things and trying to see if the eyes could come off. And she just, mentioned how she doesn't like how there's safety eyes on some crochet things and she's afraid that they'll come off. And I'm like, no, everything is embroidered on. I don't use safety eyes. I had one thing with safety eyes in my booth, and it was actually a home decor item. It was clearly not for a child to play with. It had cinnamon stick arms, so. And so people just love the quality and the embroidered eyes and all the attention to detail that I have. Quickly, I will say the number one item of the small stuff that sold were my hatching chicks. The chickens with the eggs. People thought they were so cute and so fun and just such like a cool idea. I sold 8 of those altogether, and I had 20 with me, and I sold 8. So I'm actually going to be needing to prep some more of those because I only plan to sell 5. So I'll probably prep a couple more when I have a chance. Quickly going down the list for large stuffies, I sold a stuffed derby duck. I sold my stuffed big turtle I had. I sold my one stuffed sea turtle. But that sea turtle got so much attention to my booth. Everybody touched it and wanted to feel it and hug it. It sold. It was one of the last items that sold though. On the last day, it was like in the last 30 minutes, somebody bought it. Because I was like, how is that thing so popular but nobody has bought it? And somebody finally bought it. So it might have been the last thing I sold. Out of all of the Mama Made Mini stuff, I sold a chicken. I sold 2 bears, 1 bunny, both of the mice that I brought. I sold those. I sold 1 dino. I sold a unicorn. I sold a stuffed derby duck. I also sold a fawn and a fox. They were like last minute makes. The fawn, I was making it. I was standing there at my checkout just making it while people were walking in. And this girl walked up to me and she was just like, "What are you making?" Because I think she realized what I was making but wanted to double check. And I was like, "It's just a little fawn spike." He had like a little button buck. And she was like, "I want that. I'll come back and buy it whenever you're done." I was like, "Oh, okay." And I was just so shocked and surprised. And I quickly finished that thing up and she came back and she bought it from me. So I didn't even have a chance to put it on the table. I quickly took a picture of it. I'll put it here just so I could like show proof that I actually made one. And then whenever I posted the picture of it on Instagram, I got a custom order for it too. So I sold almost all of the dolls that I made. I sold that Cinderella and that Anne doll, and they were expensive. It was funny because somebody came into the booth and was asking me like, what was the hardest thing the most difficult thing that you've made here? And I pointed at the Cinderella, and then I pointed at the my big stuffed Highland cow that I had, and then within the next hour they both sold. So yeah, I was definitely shocked by the Highland cow selling, because he was $50. So yeah, I'm just still like shocked at all that big stuff selling, and I'm really hoping that the small stuff sells still. I'm like, oh. Home decor wise, I did sell 4 of those little gingerbread men, so that was good. It was late October, it wasn't even Halloween yet, so that was nice that those sold. I'm gonna have to make some more, because I think I'll sell a lot more closer to Christmas, because they would be really cute like in a stocking, like hanging out of a stocking. I sold some small items. I only sold 1 cup cozy. I had 39 of them, and I didn't even make any this year. Those are all left over from last year. So hopefully those eventually sell. I might mark them down for the Black Friday sale that I'm doing. Craft show. I'm trying to think of some things that would be good deals. And so that might be one of the things that I mark down by like $2, just to try to move them a little bit. I brought my blind date with a book, and I sold over half of them, which was really fun. There were some people that saw it and they were just freaked out. They said, I've seen this online, and I just thought it was such a cool idea, and so I'm so excited to be able to purchase a blind date with a book. So that was really cool. I'm excited to get some more books and get those stocked back up, and I've got some ideas to make them even more fun and try to make them like a ready to give gift for people. So that'll be fun. I'm trying to think of some gift giving ideas. Surprisingly, I sold 2 baby blankets at this show. So I brought 4 with me. 2 of them were a granny square blanket. One was like a larger lovey, like I forget what the blanket size is called, but it's not like a true blanket, but it's not a lovey either. It's in between. And then I brought a big rainbow blanket. The first day I sold one of my granny square blankets, and then the second day I sold the big rainbow blanket. So that made me so happy. That guy had been with me for almost 2 years, and this lady saw it, and she had found out recently that she was going to be a grandma, and she she saw it, and she was like, I think I might cry, like this is so perfect. And she was just like so emotional about it. So it was really sweet, honestly. So she bought that, and she bought something else, but it was so sweet. I sold, clothing wise, 2 of those hexi cardigans they were both the 2T size. So I sold 2 of those. I had 3 of them, so I don't know if I'm gonna have time to make any more, but one of them was a colorway that's like popular for our area, because it's their college colors, and I had put it out in the front, and that was one of the first things people saw when they were walking into my booth, and people were freaking out about that thing. Like freaking out, I'm not even kidding. They're going nuts over it. And then it sold the first day, like halfway through the show. So it was crazy. People were just going nuts. I sold a couple of beanies and baby bonnets, just what I would expect, I guess. And then sweatshirts. I did bring sweatshirts to the show with me. I pretty much shocked everybody whenever I posted them on Facebook and Instagram, because I didn't tell anyone that I was prepping sweatshirts. It was funny because on Instagram, all of my crochet followers were like, you're making sweatshirts now? What? So I brought with me 34 sweatshirts, and I sold 23. So I had 4 designs, and I had like 2 to 3 left in each design. And I took a lot of custom orders for sweatshirts while I was there. So I have a lot of custom orders to fulfill for sweatshirts. That just proves to me like making the sweatshirts were a good idea. I'm totally happy about them, happy about selling them. I didn't go over what else sold for the minis. I sold 2 turtles, 1 mini octopus. I only sold 1 Mabel chicken out of the 26 that I brought. I brought 26 of those. I only sold 1, guys. Maybe they're like done, or you know, they're just it's so oversaturated. I'm thinking that's what it is. They're just extremely oversaturated. So maybe don't do what I did. Don't make 26 chickens. We'll see though. We'll see if, you know, my next show, I could sell tons of them. You never know. I sold a Mama Made Minnie's mouse with the mushroom on its head. I sold one of those. This girl like saw it and loved it, but then left, and then she came back like an hour later and immediately grabbed it and was like, I just can't stop thinking about it. So that was cool. I sold my scrappy snake that I had made. I need to make some more of those. I only sold 1 of those cute ducks, but I think they'll still do okay. I sold a mini Highland cow, and I had made a mini cow, and it's really cute, and it almost sold, but the lady thought it was a pig, and then somebody else thought it was a pig. So I don't know what about it is making people think it's a pig. It's clearly a cow. But also saying that there were people wanting pigs, and I didn't have anything pig. And also somebody was talking about an alligator. So there's a couple of things that people were asking about and I didn't have. So I think I'm gonna make a couple of pigs. I had 1 little leggy flower and it's sold, and I have a custom order request for another one, so that's good. I sold 8 of the hatching chicks. I brought 1 possum and I sold that possum, and then I brought 2 chameleons and I sold 1. I think going forward with my minis, I'm going to do more unique things. Less quantity of an item. Like, I'm not going to make 26 of something again, like the 26 chickens. I don't need 26 chickens. I need 3 or 4 of all kinds of different things to meet the things that people are looking for, because small kids, like especially, you know, 4 to 8-year-olds are really into like very specific animal, and they're hyper fixated on that animal. So I want to be able to try to have a bit wider range of animals and meet those things that people are really wanting. And then I'm also going to try to focus on restocking some of these large stuffies that sold, and then work on some more giftable type of items, like making something that would be a ready to give gift. So I'm going to think of some ideas for that too. Both days for this market, there were huge lines outside of people waiting to get in, and it was just so packed. There were so many people in there shopping, and there were, I think they said, between 250 to 300 vendors. So it was a really great show. And it is specifically called a craft show. Those are my favorite type of shows to do, things that are actually marketed as craft shows, because people are coming there to shop to buy handmade goods, pretty much. Like, those people know what they're coming to look at and to buy. And I don't know if it's just my area, but people around here really do love handmade goods and unique items. So, and we also love Christmas around here too. So, hence the Christmas show, October 25th and 26th. So yeah, craft shows in general are always pretty good for me. And I think all 4 shows I'm doing are promoted as craft shows. They're not festivals, they're not street fairs or whatever. They're literally craft shows. That's my things I prefer to sell at. That's what where my items sell best. I said I wanted this portion of the video to be short, but it's not. I'm at 22 minutes, so sorry. I'll try to edit it down some. But thank you guys so much for sticking around this far into the video. The video you see after this one will be another craft show video, and I'm going to try so much harder to film more in person. Hopefully there's not loud music playing. And it'll be a completely different setup, you guys. This is going to be an 8x3 booth, which is essentially just going to be an 8-foot table with my stands like right there on the corner. That fills up 8x3. So you're going to see some completely different displays from me, and hopefully that'll inspire people that have, you know, not a 10x10 space, a smaller space, give more inspiration for how I'm going to set up. And we'll see what sells in this area. This is a different area. So I will see you guys in that craft show video next. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, consider subscribing to my channel, and I'll see you then. Bye guys.